come to their senses, and before Tuesday, they make a decision, either to work for the national interest of the country or to work for personal interests. If you are working for personal interests, then you have no space in Afya House.
Duale's dose of health. Newly appointed health CS took staff pledging to dismantle Afya House cartels. Eid Mubarak. Muslims in the country celebrate Eid al-Fitr after a month of fasting and prayer.
Anaigusa kwake Sharif
Stadium. Byron Abuli is a sign language interpreter. My name is John Jacob Kioria. Welcome to the broadcast.
Good evening. I'm Regina, Manyara.
To start us off, newly appointed Cabinet Secretary for Health Aden Duale has vowed to dismantle cartels at the Ministry of Health, more so those sabotaging the implementation of a Social Health Authority, SHA.
Duale disclosed that he has the full backing of the head of state and vowed to deal firmly with any individual trying to sabotage SHA.
This as the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union, KMPDU, called on the new Health Cabinet Secretary to avoid politics when addressing healthcare workers' issues.
Speaking at Adams Arcade Mosque during Eid al-Fitr, the newly appointed Cabinet Secretary for Health, Aden Duale, believes the problems bedeviling the full implementation of the Social Health Authority was due to cartels in Afya House.
So those who have personal interests, I think they better come to their senses, and before Tuesday, they make a decision, either to work for the national interest of the country or to work for personal interests. If you are working for personal interests, then you have no space in Afya House.
Subsequently, the CS disclosed that he has the full backing of the head of state and vowed to deal firmly with any individual trying to sabotage SHA.
Cartels sabotaged it with the commitment of the Kenya Kwanza administration, with the commitment of the president, with my own commitment. I want to assure the people of Kenya, universal health care is for ordinary citizens. It's not for the elite, and it will work.
Sentiments echoed by Supreme Council of Kenya Muslim National Chairman Hassan Ole Nado, who urged Duale to crack the whip on the said cartels believed to be behind the dismissal performance of SHA.
We have actually realized that hospitals are minimizing in terms of the costs of SHA. So if somebody goes to the hospital and then he has the SHA card, what the hospital is doing, they reduce the amount of money that's going to be consumed through the SHA, and so that they get more cash. Why? Because of the fear. The hospitals have been fearing that SHA is not going to pay.
Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union Secretary has in the meantime warned CS Duale against solving health workers' issues through politics.
And I'm ready to work with all the stakeholders to make sure that our citizens get a universal healthcare system that works.
Hefty medical insurance. So it is not working, and as a new minister, make it work. Don't politicize it, because everybody has been politicizing this.
KMPDU General Secretary Dr. Davji Atela called on Duale to look into the welfare of health workers by ensuring the implementation of the collective bargaining agreements in place.
And therefore, no amount of politics can resolve the issues that are pending. And number one of them is the issue of interns. She must come out understanding their role, and if she doesn't understand, she should go and learn.
So I want to commit myself that all the challenges from the doctors' care, access and quality health care of our citizens, that will be my key priority.
We'll be keeping tabs on that. Now, a section of leaders has urged the youth at Kenya's coastal region to reject criminal activities and instead be champions of peace and unity within their communities.
Cabinet Secretaries Hassan Ali Joho and Salim Vuria, who spoke separately during Eid al-Fitr in Mombasa and Kwale counties, expressed concern over the rising tide of juvenile gangs that have been terrorizing locals.
Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja says the government will push on in enhancing security in the country. Kanja, who joined the Muslim faithful in Isile Business Center for Eid al-Fitr celebrations, said the state will stop at nothing in improving security situation in the country.
Ya muhimu ni sisi kukaa pamoja. Ya muhimu ni sisi kukaa ndugu dada. Ya muhimu ni kuripoti. Security is a shared responsibility.
Meanwhile, Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs Cabinet Secretary Hassan Joho and his sports counterpart Salim Vuria were in Mombasa and Kwale counties respectively to mark the Eid al-Fitr celebrations. The duo separately urged young people to steer clear of criminal gangs.
Kila mtu ajikimu kimaisha kwamba whatever you do today, na alafu unaweza kuwa mimi usemaga ni kama vile internet haisahau, hata maisha haisahau.
Waweze kuwa na nasaha nzuri kwa shauri vijana, ili vijana waweze kukua katika hali ya amani na wasiwe na mambo ya uhalifu. Kwa hivyo ni swala ambalo litahitaji ushirikiano wa sisi sote, na serikali inafanya jukumu lake. Kwa hivyo kila mmoja wetu aweze kuchukua jukumu kuhakikisha tunawalea vijana katika mazingira ya amani.
In Kajiado, Ewasunyiro South Development Authority Managing Director Ngala Oloitiptip donated foodstuffs to Muslim communities in the area in marking Eid al-Fitr celebrations.
Watoto wadogo kama hawa, sisi kwa Masai tunaamini ya kwamba watoto kama hawa wakishiba hakuna baraka kuliko hiyo. Na ndio maana tumesema leo tukuje hapa.
In Narok, the Muslim community made a clarion call for parents to monitor their children's activities, especially during the April holiday.
Yote mambo ya tabia watoto, mambo ya kutulia boma, mambo ya biashara, mambo ya amani, mambo ya sisi kuheshimiwa na serikali yetu, yote dawa yake ni kitabu ya Qur'an.
Muslims in Isiolo also marked the events by prayers.
Tuhakikishe ya kwamba tudumishe amani, kwa sababu hata kiongozi ambaye anatumia mamlaka yake vibaya, siku itafika tu ataondoka.
Mchuma Odim, Sunday Express.
Still on the same, hundreds of Muslims marked Eid al-Fitr with fun and games amid calls for them to share with the less fortunate in society.
It was a fun-filled day for those who opted to visit various eateries and amusement parks to mark the end of the holy month of Ramadan.
Timothy Kipnusu has our report.
It was a day marked with prayer and songs as hundreds of Muslims gathered to mark Eid al-Fitr. Gravity Amusement Park in Nairobi. Both the young and the old spend the day with fun and games.
Nimekuja hapa siku ya leo kuungana na ndugu zetu wanapokuwa wanasherehekea Eid. Tunawaambia kwamba Bwana wabariki na azidi kuwatenda mema.
Alikuwa Eid yetu ya Muislamu, tumefuraha sana. Leo tumefuraha sana. Tumeleta watoto hapa, tumesherehekea.
As for me and my kids, we really enjoyed. Tulienjoy sana. Vitu za kucheza watoto ni mingi.
It is here that calls were made to the Muslim community to inculcate the spirit of brotherhood and share with the less fortunate in society.
Angalia mwenzako, hiyo zaka kidogo ulikuwa umetoa kabla uswali sikukuu ya Eid. Sikukuu ya kukaa pamoja na watu.
Tumesherehekea Eid na Waislamu na wasiokuwa Waislamu. Tumekaa kama mandugu. Watoto wamejivinjari, tumesikia raha zote.
Further, they call for unity and peaceful coexistence among Kenyans.
As Kenyans pia, togetherness ndio kitu ya maana. Ukiwa na adui na mwenzako, msamehe.
Timothy Kipnusu for Sunday Express.
We continue to celebrate our Muslim brothers and sisters as they mark Eid Mubarak, remembering full well that Christian faithfuls are still going on with their fast during the Lenten season.
And thanks to the Muslim community, tomorrow you will get to enjoy a holiday.
Well, it's neither here nor there, but yeah. Now, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has come to the defense of Chief Defense Forces General Charles Kariri and the National Intelligence Service Director General Nudin Haji's stand on citizens' need to uphold constitutionality in the demanding accountability from government.
Murkomen says the duo made the remarks from an informed point.
Now, the CS noted that they are laid down legal provisions that spell out ways to remove elected leaders from office through impeachment or right to recall.
Murkomen has called for accountability in any political discourse, noting that anything contrary could threaten Kenya's political stability. The remarks by KDF Chief of Defense Forces Charles Kariri and the National Intelligence Services Director General Nurdin Haji have attracted a barrage of reactions from Kenyans. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has, however, come to their defense. Murkomen says Kenya must strive to uphold order and constitutionality in public discourse.
The future of a country needs order. Otherwise, there is a reason why this country is in peace. We could as well easily be in the same situation with our neighbors. We are not too special. We could be sitting in a refugee camp in another country.
Murkomen, who made the remarks in Meru during a church service, also faulted a section of politicians and social media activists, noting that some of their messages could threaten the country's security.
If we are going to become a country that has order, my friend, forget about this thing you are answering the Chief of Defense Forces and the NIS Director. Those two gentlemen are speaking from information. They are warning you, they are warning your country, they are warning your future. You are making social media arguments here and politicians speaking out here and there.
This even as he sounded a warning on the regrouping of criminal gangs that he claims are being funded by politicians.
Tumesema kila mwanasiasa akuwe na haki ya kufanya siasa yake, lakini si kuenda kurecruit vijana na kuweka pamoja wakitembea na panga na marungu na kupikia kelele mwenzake. Wewe kuja useme yako wananchi ni wise, they will know what to do, uende.
With banditry still rife in the northern parts of Kenya and now spilling to Isiolo and Meru counties, Murkomen announced a strategic establishment of yet another Ondoa Uhalifu operational base manned by the Kenya Defence Forces that will be situated in Samburu.
Ile operation ilikuwa inasimamiwa kutoka huko Baringo Chemalingot, tumegawa mara mbili. Wale watabaki Chemalingot wataendelea na hiyo kazi. Tumeleta timu nyingine hapa Kirimon, itasimamiwa sasa kutoka hapo ndio imalize hii shida yote yenye tuko hapa. Aswa ile shida tuko kwa Samburu East hapa. Mahali inaitwa Mkogodo Forest. Inashika ng'ombe inaibwa inaenda kufichwa pale.
While making reference to the recent Wajir and Kisii gender-based violence cases that have sparked outrage, the CS vowed to deal decisively with the perpetrators. Meanwhile, area MPs have welcomed the anticipated working tour by President William Ruto in the coming week.
Akikuja Meru kutuletea zile ambazo title deeds anatuletea area ya Tigania, project ya over 18 billion ya project inaitwa Widlab itaanguka hapa Meru area ya Tigania.
Na kuambia uaminifu wetu usichanganywe na chochote. Meru iko nyuma ya rais. Kama kuna kitu chochote tunasikia kumwambia, sisi huambia rais direct, atupitii mtu yeyote.
Kwa Meru hawana ile siasa iko pande nyingine. Siasa ya Meru ni tofauti complete 100%. Cha kwamba sisi tuko na Mheshimiwa William Samoei.
From politics, and former Chief Justice David Maraga says he is not a state project in the 2027 elections amid calls for him to run in the elections.
Maraga, who spoke in Kisii, debunked the notion that he is a state-sponsored candidate, saying he'll make his announcement at the opportune time.
This and more in the following story.
As calls by a section of Kenyans to have former Chief Justice David Maraga on the ballot intensify, retired Chief Justice David Maraga has refuted claims that he is a state-sponsored project. Maraga, who spoke after Sunday service in Nyamira, said he'll make his stand known at the right time.
We are talking, I told you, we are talking with people. It is, at the end of the day, you know, the choice is the people's choice. Just relax, wait. I mean, in due course, you will make up your mind yourself. whether or not I'm a state project.
And the Jubilee Party has commenced the popularization of former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i's presidential bid ahead of the 2027 election.
Kule kwa mlima wao wameamua ya kwamba their presidential candidate kupitia Jubilee ni Fred Matiang'i. Na je, hapa Mombasa mko aje? Na wangapi? Tuone tu kwa mkono kama kunao.
Elsewhere, Embu Senator Alexander Mundigi has urged residents to disregard calls for disruptions of President's tour ahead of the President's visit to Embu County this week, stressing the importance of maintaining decorum during the head of state's visit.
Kama mkutano sio wako, iko anja gani ya kwenda kupiga kelele? Mkutano sio yako ya kwenda kupiga kelele ya mkutano mwingine. Kama unataka kupiga kelele, si hata wewe uende utengeneze mkutano yako. Kwa hivyo mimi ningeomba watu wale wanapenda Mwenyezi Mungu, mambo ya watu ya Embu County, tafadhali tuungane pamoja tuweze kuenda kukaribisha rais wetu wa Kenya.
President Ruto is set to begin one-week tour in central Kenya on Tuesday.
Time for us to take a first breather right here on Sunday Express, but just a reminder that later on, Regina will be having a conversation.
Indeed, those people who often have a challenge, especially when it comes to starting over, there's that fear of, if I start over, will it work? If I start this, will it actually bear fruition? So tonight, as we're focusing on mental awareness, we're focusing on that fear of the unknown into the future and how you get beyond that and thrive. So do keep it right here.
All right.
Kupitia star 570 hash tunakupa nafasi ya kuchomoka na this beautiful Mazda Demio. Enjoy a beautiful clean semi-leather interior, low mileage, fuel-efficient 1300cc engine, great for personal use and business. Ukitaka kujishindia gari hii, kucheza ni rahisi sana. Chukua simu yako, bonyeza star 570 hash, chagua option 3. And for only 35 shillings, hii gari inaweza kuwa yako. Kumbuka kucheza mara kadhaa, because the more you play, the higher chances of wewe kuwa mshindi.
Mungu ni mwema, asante Mungu. Ile nitakuwa naendesha hivi.
Dial star 570 hash and make this dream car yours.
Cheza Loto Moto. We heard you. Tax amnesty is back. Kenya Revenue Authority is giving 100% relief on interest, penalties and fines for tax debts incurred up to 31st December 2023. Don't miss out. Take action now by settling your outstanding tax debt through easy-to-pay installments by 30th June 2025 and watch those penalties and fines for tax debts disappear. It's now or never to set your tax records right. Take advantage of the tax amnesty today. Terms and conditions apply. Kenya Revenue Authority. Tulipe ushuru tujitegemee.
Be careful, Dad said. That's your favorite one right there.
There you are. Want to go swimming later?
Ollie's favorite. It's not here.
The dolphin we rescued is over here. All our other dolphins have names. Does he have one? Since he has to make somewhere, how about Barney?
Got it, Mr. Mills. Crazy environmental not to see those eggs will cost us millions in fines. What do you think about buying that fish hospital? What are you talking about, the marine habitat?
What are we gonna do?
Dad's boss. He's not gonna build an ocean theme park.
Something sure smells fishy around here, Bernie. And it ain't the fish.
We got to jump. Let's book it. Come on, come on.
Welcome back. You're watching the Sunday Express. Now, a family in Kanunga, Gamuranga County, is desperately seeking financial support to have their mother, Rahab Kabura, undergo a heart surgery.
Rahab, who is suffering from a rheumatic heart disease, has been in and out of hospital over the ailment, depleting her family's resources.
She's now pleading with well-wishers to help her raise 1.8 million shillings that is required for the surgery.
During a visit to Rahab Kabura's home, Rahab and her daughter Catherine Kabura looked desperate. Rahab, a stay-at-home mom and a mother of 3, developed heart complications a while ago. Catherine, who has been her mother's caregiver, says her problem began in 2022. She says her mother started having severe headaches, a swollen stomach, and her legs weakened, a condition that pushed her to seek medical care in various hospitals.
2 years ago, ndipo tulikuja kufahamu ya kwamba kuna ugonjwa wa moyo, na since 2022 amekuwa akitumia dawa.
After visiting many hospitals, the diagnosis showed that Rahab requires a heart surgery procedure.
Mnamo mwaka wa 2024 ndipo mwili wake ulidhoofika kabisa, na tukakuja kuelewa ya kwamba anahitaji upasuaji wa moyo. Hizi story zilikuwa za kuhuzunisha sana.
Despite various interventions at Tenwek Hospital in Bomet, her situation has continued to deteriorate.
Mimi yule mama nilikuwa najua, mwenye alikuwa anajifanyia kazi, mwenye alikuwa na nguvu, mwenye ametulea, kwa sasa si mwenye nilikuwa najua.
She now requires 1.8 million shillings to undergo treatment. The family has tried fundraising, but these did not yield much. Catherine says they cannot afford to pay the huge bill and are seeking financial support to help save Rahab's life.
Hizo fedha ambazo tuliambiwa tutafute, ambazo ni 1.8 million. And since then tumekuwa tukitafuta hizo hela kulingana na vile hali iko ya maisha. Tumeshindwa.
You can channel your donation through M-Pesa on mobile number 0794071940. Rahab Kabura. For Sunday Express, I am Teresa Mutai.
They say a receiving hand is one that is always willing to give. So let's take that number once again. Should you feel that you need, and you can support Rahab there, the number to call, which is also available on our website, is none other than 0794071940. That is towards the medical checkup that she requires, as well as surgery amounting to 1.8 million shillings.
And of course, a helping hand would really be appreciated. In the meantime, stakeholders in the health sector have challenged Kenyans to embrace a culture of regular medical checkups to enhance early detection and treatment of life-threatening illnesses.
The clarion call was made during a free medical camp held at the ACK St. Luke's Church, Umoja in Nairobi, where Kenyans got a chance to access crucial medical services, including cancer screening and pap smear tests.
Sunday morning at the ACK St. Luke's Church, Umoja in Nairobi, worshippers and other locals in Nairobi County got a chance to access various rare yet crucial free medical services, including cancer screening, pap smear and dental checkup, among others.
We also organize a medical camp such that when they give back to the society through giving their blood, we can also give back to them where they can have basic health checks. Because as a church, we believe that early detection of diseases will lead to a situation where the situations are better managed.
Experts in the health sector taking the opportunity to rally Kenyans to adopt a culture of frequent medical checkups for early detection in a bid to reduce fatalities from preventable diseases.
It's good for people to come to present themselves for dental checkup. Just coming for dental checkup is enough. for us to be able to detect those ailments early and to arrest them early. So failure to go for the dental checkup is what makes these people to have this prolonged gum disease, multiple dental caries. Then in the end, they lose their teeth.
Whenever you see this exercise around, free medical checkup, free camps, just participate. You might be having a problem, but you're not aware. So through this screening, it can help you. You may be having a problem and you get help.
However, the cost of accessing the essential medical services remain a key obstacle to many Kenyans.
All of us can hold hands together with the partners we have on the ground. Like Mama Lucy has done a wonderful job. It is free. So if any and every church can do this, I'm sure we can help arrest so many cases that are going to help people in the future.
The stakeholders also raised alarm of the existing deficit in the country's blood bank.
We have been having blood shortages. So, for example, here in Nairobi alone, we need a target of about 500 units per month of blood. So we are only able to collect about 200 to 300. So you see we have a gap of about 200 units. We have challenges like human resource and mobilization and the materials needed to undertake this particular exercise.
John Kahiro for Sunday Express.
Tonight, we're going to be keenly focusing on mental health awareness with a keen focus on starting over and thriving. A majority of us feel that whatever we know is not working. We want to get to another level, but there's that fear of starting over again. How do you get over that? And how do you ensure that that fear drives you to what propels you in life? Tonight, we're talking to none other than Evan Biro, who is a community mental well-being advocate. Yes. Thank you very much for your time, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be talking about how you relate mental wellness to cooking later in the show.
Yes.
But tonight we want to address the issue of starting over again. And I'd want to paint a picture of a person who has they went to school, they studied a certain course, they come to the job market. As we look at it, over 62% of our unemployed are the youth who have gone through the education system. They end up jobless. They have to start over in a different field altogether if they should find, a way to eke a living.
Yes.
How do we deal with starting over? Where does it start? Eve.
First of all, I would say that mental well-being is something that now is being recognized by the government and different organizations. And where I would say is young people and anyone else, it is okay to be okay. So if you feel like you want to start something, you finished school and you're not sure what to start, you don't have anyone to help you, it is okay. Just start something and be patient. And just start something and find ways probably in the local wherever you are in the local area, and find if the local government can help you start something. Be patient and just know that you're not alone. And another thing I would like to say is, if you are free, there is stigma for mental health, and we know that if someone asks for help, or if you're struggling with something, whether you're working or whether you finished school, and perhaps even your parents are saying, oh, you finished school, why are you not doing like so? Somebody, why are you not doing so and so? Just do something. Just start something. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, find a place or a friend, always a friend or family, and discuss about your initiative.
Now, Eva, that is all good, but when we look at the situation on ground, a majority of people do not know who to trust with what they're going through. Secondly, they also lack the financial muscle to actually get their dreams off the ground and running.
Yeah.
So we're looking at ourselves inwardly. We do not trust the people around us to give us the support. How do we build capacity from in before we go out? What would you advise such a person in such a situation?
As I said, whatever business you want to start, you have support from family or churches. But
if I do not have it? Because that's a challenge that most people are having. And what we are looking at is not even the outward support. We are looking at ourselves. How do we better ourselves to understand that we can go this journey? How do we prepare ourselves mentally of what we want to do, regardless of whether it's a relationship or it's a job, you know, just that mental state of winning, because that's what is lacking the majority of the youth right now.
I think, first of all, is what is lacking is government initiatives to support everyone. Not that some initiatives are for just the wealthy or the people with the money or the people who are aware of something. I would like to say that for you to feel overwhelmed, that you're feeling suicidal or depressed, then you must have confidence that if I go to the local authority or the local chief or the local hospital, I'll be attended to and there will be no stigma or judgmental thing going on, because that is where it starts. Because if you want to feel good about yourself, that's okay, but if you have nowhere to go, so all what I can say is it starts, first of all, you can encourage yourself, but even if you encourage yourself, where do you go? You can't, as you give an example of someone who went to university, of course you've got parents or guardians who paid all that school fees, they don't know anyone that can help you, but you know that if you go to a local program, you can get support. So I would say that support first will come from the government to make sure that the youth or the young people, even older people, they have somewhere they can go and get support, regardless of how small it is.
So Eva, in the absence of this, because this is a challenge that young people are dealing with, they feel isolated, they feel alone, and as you said, it has to start from in before you go out.
Yes.
From your professional, or rather from your value chain, what advice would you give to that person who is feeling discouraged and they have no one to rely on? They're barely surviving by the grace of God, you know? They're just there. What advice would you give them to build that capacity so that we reduce depression among the youth? You know, they say it has to start from within. So we want to look at that within. What does it mean when someone says it has to start with you? What does that really mean?
It starts with you, and that is why I said that it's always to have with you and tell yourself it's okay not to be okay.
So it is okay
not to be okay. Yes,
right?
just you know
so
that
acceptance.
Acceptance.
All right.
Yes, and once you accept it, then you go back and decide, okay, I'm going to start something small. I've seen youth in town starting a photo shoot or anything, selling anything that is going, and that is where you start. And again, looking after your well-being is by not taking, for example, substance misuse, and finding people who are positive. And even if you don't find people who are positive, try and bring someone or in the youth and say, look, can we start this project? Can we do this just to better ourselves? Of course, youth cannot just excel on themselves. They will need a mentor. But among the youth, definitely there is one or two who feels like I can mentor this person. And that is where we say that apart from you, you could have all the confidence of being okay or supporting yourself, but it's the environment that will dictate how far you can go. And that is why I'm saying that if the government could look at this as an emergency, as an urgent thing, especially for the youth, so that they can stop feeling marginalized, they can stop focusing on the negatives, they don't have jobs or something, but initiatives to bring them back to their senses.
Now, we're also dealing with the middle class that is feeling that they can no longer provide. When we put out this conversation around mental awareness and starting over, there are majority who feel that they need to leave what they know and get to their known. Is that they were in employment, it is no longer earning them what they require, they want to diversify. What would you advise them? What are the do's and don'ts when you're getting into uncharted territory, especially from the mental perspective?
Well, first of all, before you leave where you are, because it depends on your environment, as you said, middle class.
Yeah.
A middle class youth or young person already have a certain support. So I would say that before you do anything, find the right funding, find the right source before you leave your job or do what you want to do, and then proceed from there and find sponsorship and any support. And that is where I'm going back to the government, because you could leave your job, probably start your own business, but where do you get funding? Where do you get that support of financial support actually? That is the problem. Yeah.
Now, this brings us to your personal story. Right now you're running, I don't know if it's I don't know how to define an initiative or a program where you have linked cooking for mental health.
Yes.
Where does the relationship come in? You know, when I think about cooking, I enjoy good food and I enjoy being in the kitchen, but how does it help me with my mental status? Please unpack that for us.
Oh yes, cooking itself is a therapy. Okay. But because women especially are used to cooking every day, you don't realize that actually you are under therapy. For example, you've seen women especially saying, oh, I don't feel like cooking chapati today, because it requires mental stability to feel good about yourself before you cook chapati. And I also realized that when you put on a project, it's a project, and you say we are talking about mental health, how many people are going to come because of stigma? And there are people in professional positions, they don't want to be seen like, oh, I have a problem. So when women come together, they're having a cup of tea, and while they're doing that, that is how I started my project. You can talk about ourselves and know that you're in a safe space where you can talk to another woman without being judged. So and if you tell a woman that, oh, there's something that we are cooking, probably you come from Mombasa, I come from Kiambu, you are cooking this and I'm cooking this, but meanwhile we are talking about ourselves. So it is not obvious that it is about mental well-being, because not many people will turn out.
Because we are engaging in something that we like. Where does this leave the men? Because we are patriarchal, we are African, and African is our business. The majority of men steer away from the kitchen, but they're there present to actually have dinner or at the table when we're eating. They're not there in the process. So where does this such kind of a project actually bring men on board?
Yeah, actually my project focuses on men and women. Yeah.
Oh, there are men who are actually coming to cooking.
Yes, there are many men who are coming to cooking, and actually men also supporting their women. And you know, as we say, the women actually sort of run the house. So why I was actually focusing mostly on women is because if you're a woman, or if a woman's head is not where it's supposed to be, then nothing else will happen, because we carry the families with us. And also men, they are welcome in the project. In fact, myself, I like food when it's cooked by men. But again, they come in and is the boy child focused therapy. So you find that men actually don't talk to each other. It's a well-known fact. A man could be going through something and they are not talking to each other. But when they come and they find other people talking about it, then they join in the cooking and they talk about it.
Then we also where does how do we look at it in terms of culture? The community I come from does not allow men in the kitchen.
Yes.
How do you break that barrier? Because if we're engaging in this particular kind of form to just have an opportunity to do a debrief, how are we balancing culture and tradition? Men from the Meru folk are not allowed in the kitchen.
Yes.
So how do you break that barrier?
So we break that barrier because in every session, I will call them sessions, we have men's sessions. Whether the person comes from which county or which cultural background, when it comes to cooking and mental well-being, you'll be surprised how men come together. So we have sometimes men only, and when it's men only, then they can talk to themselves. Right. And this cooking, as I said, so many people have come to me and say, oh, I don't know how to cook, I'm not a chef. This cooking is not for professionals. Even those men who don't cook, come with a cup of tea. Come and make a cup of tea and let's talk about this.
All right. So what does it mean to be mentally aware? You know, that is, we do not know when we are not okay. At what point am I not okay? What should I look out for?
It is when obviously you've changed, for example, what you have been doing. You used to like cooking, you're not cooking anymore. You like going to see friends, you don't want even to see anyone. You don't want to comb your hair, especially women. You can tell how they are by how they look sometimes. And yeah.
So when I'm no longer doing what I'm supposed to do.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, on that note, we're going to be taking a quick breather, but when you come, we're going to be breaking this down and actually putting this into a conclusion. Mental unawareness and what you need to look out for, and what are the low-hanging fruits to ensure that you remain stable. This is Sunday Express. We take a quick breather. We'll be right back.
We heard you. Tax amnesty is back. Kenya Revenue Authority is giving 100% relief on interest, penalties and fines for tax debts incurred up to 31st December 2023. Don't miss out. Take action now by settling your outstanding tax debt through easy-to-pay installments by 30th June 2025 and watch those penalties and fines for tax debts disappear. It's now or never to set your tax records right. Take advantage of the tax amnesty today. Terms and conditions apply. Kenya Revenue Authority, tulipe ushuru tujitegemee.
Inuka na loto moto sasa kwa star 570 hash option ya 4 kuna kashamba juja na nika 50 by 100 worth 1.7 million Kenyan shillings. Na hii si shamba tu, iko kwa prime location few minutes from Juja Town. Stima yako iko ndani, na kama ni development rapid and so promising. Na mambo ya landlord, mwisho wa mwanzo ni hapa. Ukishinda hili shamba tunakuongeza 1 million Kenyan shillings ujijengee nyumba yako kwa shamba yako. Kuinuka na loto moto ni kucheza sasa hivi kupitia star 570 hash option ya 4 au register deposit na ucheze sasa hivi kwa www.tushinde.com na ujishindie shamba hili na addition of 1 million Kenyan shillings. Inuka na loto moto.
Tanki ya maji ya lita 10,000. Hiyo ni kitu ya kukustua. Sinafunguliwa mfereji sina.
Kwani unakuja kupiga dawa ya kunguni ama dawa panya unakuja kuweka?
Dawa ya kunguni napigwa na nyundo mama Kayai.
Wewe na hii nywele yako
inakuashia nini?
You have an angular face.
Unataka nishike moso tu.
Your nose pop. Ugwachana na lecho jangu wewe.
Si nilikuwa tu naangalia.
Hii imetoka nimesota.
Ameliga na kumesota.
Ukiangalia yule mnyana kaa Lovely saiti kushinda mwingine ni mkane.
Wewe hata ukikaa chini bado umesimama.
Tunaona ukiniangalia lakini unaangalia chini.
Wewe nani wewe? What are these manze?
Welcome back. This is Sunday Express, and we've been looking about mental health awareness and what people are doing out there to survive that, especially when they have to start over and get into new territories. Our guest tonight has been none other than Eva Mbiro, who is telling us, you know, that you can even engage in a simple act of cooking and get to an opportunity to debrief. As we are closing and bringing this conversation, there are those who do not understand that they are actually mentally unstable, that they are not okay. So what are the telltale signs?
Most of the signs is the way someone talks, the way you are thinking. You can tell someone by the way they look and the way they are focused on just one subject sometimes, and that the way they have negative, everything becomes negative around them. And they don't do things the way they used to do. They are not engaging with family, and you know, suicidal thoughts, although those ones come later. But again, I would say that there are so many ways, because before someone commits suicide or does something, there was a telltale by the way they mostly it's normally negative. Everything is negative.
What do you do, especially when you're dealing with someone who has suicidal thoughts? There are times when you lose a loved one and you often feel that I should have known better. I should have handled this better. Let's build capacity so that it does not occur again. If a person is actually in this particular space, how can the other people support them?
Yeah, well, first of all is to understand that mental health can affect anyone, and don't take it as just a story, and take it seriously, because mental health is a serious issue and is affecting a lot of people. But when someone is going through mental well-being, and they come to you and they say to you that I don't feel like going out, I want to kill myself or something, it is very important to be aware of all those things.
Eva, there is this thought that, and it's a notion that is already out there. People say that those people who usually, there's that thought that when someone says intajua, it's just, they're just saying it because they want to say it, or they want to be manipulative.
Yes, I would say that when someone comes with that, I would say what I normally say: seek help, and seek help. Don't get tired. And if someone comes to you and they say, I nataka kujua, or I don't feel like I want to eat, sometimes it's loss of appetite. I would like everyone to be aware and take it seriously, because people who end up committing suicide or being very unwell is because the people next to them, they do not take it seriously. But before you get to that level, I would say, please, everyone should seek support without any shame. Don't be shamed. There's nothing to be shamed about. It doesn't matter if you are a professional, whoever you are, don't be ashamed, just seek help. And I would ask the government to work in the primary level to support everyone who needs that support. Yeah. 1 second to just, do you think that a mental situation, mental health in this country needs to be given more priority? Oh yes, the country, many people are now going through mental health, especially since the pandemic. And as I said, if the government can take this as a serious issue, and what is happening because of lack of jobs and lack of even houses and all that, I would say that they should put aside some money for this kind of projects. Yeah.
All right. Well, indeed, we need to look at it as a pandemic, as Eva Mbiro, who is a community mental wellness being advocate, saying that when you no longer do the things that you used to do with comfort and ease, when you no longer want to socialize with your friends and family, that should be a telltale sign that you are not mentally settled, and you should not feel ashamed of actually seeking help. Tonight, that has been our conversation. You can be sure to send in your feedback at KBC Channel 1 on X, and we can send them to our guest tonight, and maybe she can respond to that. As we say, we grow when we help each other. Now, security agencies have joined forces with the clergy, medical professionals, and technology experts to deliver free medical services to residents of Kaptrerwa, Saboti constituency, Trans Nzoia County. Deputy Inspector General of Police Gilbert Masengeli says the 7-day program is designed to address not only physical health, but also mental and spiritual well-being to locals. Inua AI CEO Humphrey Muchuma says the initiative will additionally provide insights to digital job opportunities and financial literacy, equipping young people with the skills needed to thrive in an increasingly technology-driven world. The exercise will come to a close on 6th of April, 2025.
Community and ensuring we communicate and partner with the community, just to assure them that policing is not only policing, but is partnering with the community to ensure their security, their well-off, their mental well-being.
We are championing digital jobs in the digital economy space. We are here to train our young people, identify talent, and also just to encourage them about the future of work.
was the brightest star of the circus. Until one day, she fell to earth, where she met some new friends.
You're not in the circus. You're in my sandbox now, clown. Keep away from me. You've got fleas. What are you talking about? Hey, she noticed us. Sweet.
Who taught her about bravery and the meaning of teamwork.
Let them go, huh?
Now you'll all be together.
But when they're sent on a top secret mission,
Forget who you are. Forget what you like and what you don't like. Any questions?
I have a question.
No questions, right?
Here we go.
Space Dogs
Welcome to Sports and Football. Kenya Federation defending champions Gor Mahia were held to a goalless draw by AFC Leopards in a thrilling Mashemeji derby match played today at the Nyayo National Stadium. Both teams had equal scoring opportunities in the opening minutes, losing clear chances. The first half ending goalless. In the second half, a similar game was witnessed as the match ended goalless. Following the draw, Kogalo remained in that place on the Premier League table with 43 points, while Ingwe are fifth with 37 points. The clash between the two teams, known as the Mashemeji Derby, was the 93rd between the two clubs with the largest fan base in the country in the last 9 meetings. Gor Mahia has triumphed 8 times, while AFC Leopards has only won once. And of course, the results of other matches played today. Police FC defeated Posta Rangers 1-0. Shabana beat Muranga Seals 3-0, while Kakamega Homeboys drew 2-2 with a KCB. Now, the 93rd Mashemeji Derby, pitting sworn rivals Gor Mahia and AFC Leopards, drew hundreds of fans who filled to capacity the Nyayo National Stadium to witness the long-awaited meeting between the two teams. The excitement and buzz that characterizes Mashemeji Derby was culpable, as our reporter Bernard Okumu now reports.
In their dozens and hundreds, Gor Mahia and FC Leopards fans jammed the streets, bring the otherwise dull streets on a Sunday to life. On the streets, banter and mind games openly played out, with each expressing confidence of winning the match.
Leo lazima kuku iswim, samaki itambaye.
Tumetia makali, tuko sawa, tuko rada. Makucha leo inatoka, tunararua, kurarua.
With each side confident of the win, probably backed by the recent statistics of form, it was not hard to predict the winner.
Tumejiandaa, tumetoa ingwerusi ya matere bwana, hutre. Tumekuza, tunawapiga, tunararua. Tunawatandika, leo tuko tumejitayarisha vya kutosha. Lazima leo tuwatoe, tungangane, tukule. Wamenambia nibebe gunia mabao, si bebi. Leo tunafunga Gor Mahia.
Outside the stadium, the police and security officials battled to control the surging lines. And at some point, order was then restored and the access to the stadium less a hassle. It is the 93rd Mashemeji Derby, and of course the fans and the security officials had a rough time controlling the crowds that milled at the Nyayo National Stadium, battling to get access to the stadium to witness the spectacle that was the Mashemeji. But at the end of it all, of course, it was the teams and the fans who wanted most to support their clubs, battling on the ground for the 3 crucial points in the Kenya Premier League. Reporting for Sunday Express from Nyayo National Stadium, I'm Bernard Okumu.
Bernard, indeed, it was a spectacle, though then nobody collected the 3 points, each of them collecting a point because of the draw. It was a medal-less day for Kenya as the ongoing World Masters Athletics Indoor Championship entered its penultimate stage on Saturday at the Alachua County, Gainesville, Florida in the USA. So far, Kenya has clinched 8 medals, 4 gold and 4 of them being silver.
Francis Kipkoech Bowen, the 300,000 meters world record holder, who was expected to win for a Kenya medal, found the going tough in the 1500 meters M50 category. Expectations were high considering his stellar performance in the heats on Friday, but that was not reflected in the final when he missed on the podium, finishing in the 4th position after clocking 4 minutes 14.56 seconds. The gold medal went to Konjo Iereme of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, who clocked 4 minutes 9.22 seconds. The silver and bronze medals went to Conor Kiram of Ireland and Mark Williams of USA respectively. Kenyan's lone representative in the women 400 meters W50 category, Elizabeth Mudhoka, qualified for the finals by running a tactical race. She won her heat by clicking 1 minute 3.91 seconds.
Hii ni race mpya kwangu na ni mara ya kwanza kukimbia indo. Sasa ile tactics wanatumia jana ni kama nilikimbia jana kwa hit kwa nguvu sana.
Wakenya watarajie tu mazuri, ni mashindano. Yote yale yatatokea tutakubali.
So far, Kenya has clinched 8 medals, 4 gold and 4 silver.
And it's time for us now to put a cap on Sunday Express. I want to thank you for joining us and, of course, giving us company throughout the entire hour. My name is John Jacob Kioria. Have yourself a fantastic night and a good week ahead.
Indeed, and talking about a good week, we wish that all who are not going to be attending work tomorrow, great Eid. I think the Muslim brothers and sisters have done that thing. We're waiting to see what our Christian faithfuls are going to be doing come Good Friday. That is not some few days. That is not so far away, indeed. So if you do not have to get to the office tomorrow, well, please don't do so, but be progressive. I'm Regina Manyara. Have a pleasant week ahead.
Kupitia star 570 hash tunakupa nafasi ya kuchomoka na this beautiful Mazda Demio. Enjoy a beautiful clean semi-leather interior, low mileage, fuel-efficient 1300cc engine, great for personal use and business. Ukitaka kujishindia gari hii, kucheza ni rahisi sana. Chukua simu yako, bonyeza star 570 hash, chagua option 3. And for only 35 shillings, hii gari inaweza kuwa yako. Kumbuka kucheza mara kadhaa, because the more you play, the higher chances of wewe kuwa mshindi.
Mungu ni mwema, asante Mungu. Ile nitakuwa naendesha hivi.
Dial star 570 hash and make this dream car yours.
Cheza Loto Moto.
Kenya nzima saizi niko